Hi, let's have a look at the island in space where we deal with resources using money. Nothing is added anymore except money, but this money is created out of nothing. It's similar like some ants going through the forest, seeing some leaves and saying, hey, this is interesting, let's use it as money, and there is large amounts of it, so we just start using it. That's how we deal with money, more or less. Money has been created by people and therefore can be changed by people. It's not something that is a fixed law by nature or something, it's just artificial. It has no physical meaning whatsoever. In contrary to the ants using leaves, that has some physical value for the ants, but money as such has not. It's even worse. Take GDP. It's even worse. Take GDP. If you make a bad work requiring a lot of maintenance and repair work, then GDP will grow. It increases. So it's failing that creates work, creates money, and that's completely contradictory to what we in fact want. Yes. And in fact, it's even worse. Money does not even exist. What exists is debt. If you take a loan, money is created and you have debts. On the other side, with that same money, you create debts in the resource stock in the earth, because you extract stocks, you don't regenerate them in general, and you store them somewhere in your house or in the society. So double debt is created. It's a double pyramid game what we are playing, creating financial debt and resource debt, resulting into the fact that 62 of the richest people in the world own as much as the 50% poorest people on earth. It's even it's expressed in a different way. 1% of all people own as much as the other 99%, and half of all growth since the year 2000 has gone to this richest first percent. And this was in 2015 by Oxfam research. Today it's already 8 of the richest people own as much as the 50% poorest people. This is how money works. Now you might say, well, we're going to change that. I'm going to buy sustainable stuff. Okay, so you buy a bicycle, very sustainable. Instead of using the car, you go by bicycle to your work. But then what happens with your money? That goes to the bicycle seller. He books himself a nice holiday to some tropical island, flying there, spending his money. And the pilot that brings him there, up and down, he spends his money in building a swimming pool, a heated swimming pool, causing a lot of energy and resource use. And the hotel manager, where you were staying, where your bicycle seller was staying, he owns a lot of money and he buys himself a nice car, electric car, a Tesla for instance. This is how money works. You might think you do something sustainable, but you make start working your money in many different ways, and it builds up and it builds up in energy and resource consumption. It's even worse because the car seller has a nice hobby, which is sending rockets out in space, wasting a lot of energy and materials there. It will bring us nowhere, of course. So it's making profit, that's the message from the previous sheet, that creates resource debt and CO2 emissions, of course, as a result. And you can't solve that by making more profit, of course. That makes some logic, does it? So I would say that people, planet, profit, the triple bottom line often used, could be better expressed as people depleting planet making profit. And the conclusion is that if you can make a profit from something, it can't be sustainable, because it's creating lots of resource consumption afterwards as well. It goes on and on and on. That won't work in the long time. Well, if you want to know more, read the book about restoring this balance. Thank you very much.